hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. What is SNDEVTools? SNDEVTools is an NPM package that was built on sheer frustration. I have told this earlier as well that I was working for a client and that client system just blocked our beloved SNUtils. So for 2 weeks, I did not had anything. I had some random sysids. I did not know what to do with them. I was just banging my head on the screen with those sysids. So that's when I got the idea of creating an npm package. Like, how will they stop my npm package to being installed in the system? So this is how I created the SNDEVTools npm package. Now, what this SNDEVTools do is it lets you interact with your ServiceNow instance through your computer terminal. So you write a command, you click enter, and some magical things happen in your ServiceNow instance. So let me show you a quick demo of how you can do this. So let's say this is your ServiceNow instance, and what you want to do, you got a sysid from somewhere, either from a script or a workflow or a flow designer, but you got a sysid and you don't know that what to do with that sysid. So for example, let's do one thing. Let's get a random sysid of a record. Now in the computer terminal, you just have to install that SNDEVTools npm package, and after you install that, you have to write this simple command SNDEVTools find and that sysid. That's it. Before that, you will have to log in as well in your instance through the terminal. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to do SNDEVTools login. So once you enter SNDEVTools login, it will ask you for the instance URL. So in my case, this is the URL. I'll just provide the URL. I'll provide the username, and that's it. I am logged in the instance. Now, once I'm logged in, I have the entire access of that instance in this terminal. So now I can do that SNDEVTools find command for that sysid. And once I click enter, it will start searching on in the tables that we have. So we'll just wait for it to complete the search. So right now we are seeing one table at a time, but at the back end, this is not what is happening. So see, we have the entire record of that change task, and we got that change task opened as well automatically. If you go to the terminal, you will be able to see that what was the table, what are all the fields. So we see all the fields here, not just the ones that are present on the screen. You see, and if there is a BR or a script include something like that, then you see the code as well here. I'll show you that as well. So we get all the information. Now, I just want to deep dive a little bit into the functionality, like the core engineering at how it is working, because every time I used to see SNUtils doing these kind of stuff, I just wondered like, how do they find this is ID in the instance? So how I was able to do it, when we do this login thing, this is not just a simple login, a plain login. What we are doing is we are saving the credentials as well temporarily for the time being that you are interacting with this CLI. We store the credentials, and what we do is once you log in the backend, we retrieve all the tables that you have in your instance. So let's say this is my instance. I'll go to the sysdb object. This is the application will go to the sysdb object table, and it will retrieve all the tables that we have in this instance and create a temporary file for that and store it in your local disk in your computer. So all that metadata of the tables is now stored in your local disk. And once you hit this find command, then it iterates through all those tables that we have already stored in the local disk. And it is not a one table at a time search. We are doing 100 table at a time search, a concurrent search of 100 tables. And when we get a record, let's say we did a search for 100 tables and we did not get anything, then we will do again search for 100 next 100 tables. So let's say in this search, batch search, we got the record. So now we will create a link, a URL path for that record. We'll open that record just how I showed it to you. This change task automatically got opened, and we retrieve all the details of that record and show it here. So this is the idea behind SNDEVTools. Now you can also do something like creating an update set. So if I want to create an update set from the terminal, I can just put UPS command and test update set. I can just enter this and it will automatically create an update set for me. Test update set, it is in progress. So this the main thing that is that the good part about this CLI is that it doesn't store your data forever. So you remember, if you remember that we stored the metadata of all the tables in the local disk. So that won't be there once you stop interacting with this SNDEVTools CLI. So once, if you want to stop this CLI from working now, what you can do is sn dev tools and just log out. Like how you logged in into the instance through the terminal, you can just log out as well. Logged out. So you are now logged out successfully. The credentials have been removed, and that table data from your local disk has also been removed. Now, if I do the same thing, sn dev tools find, and that's this ID, it shouldn't work. See, you must be login first using SNDEVTools login. So this is the npm package that I have created. A lot more cool features are about to come by the end of this year in this npm package, and I'm also thinking of making this npm package uh, open source so that anyone who has a great idea about this or a cool feature that they want to implement, they can just contribute it in the GitHub repo and I'll take it forward from there.